Facebook, and YouTube to share the morning meditation. And I was contemplating whether I'd do a meditation day because technically it would be considered a holiday. But I think what I'll do is I'm offering one today, and then I'm going to take off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then I'll come back on Tuesday. And I might share some resources if I feel inspired. But personally, I fully take off the weekends now, no social media at all. So just so you know what to expect moving forward. And if I haven't met you before or you're watching this for the first time, I am Caroline. I am a soulful space holder, and I am sharing these community meditations as a way to be of service, especially during times when we need a little bit of extra support. We need a little bit of extra help to connect with our inner truth, our inner knowing, and to settle our collective nervous systems, to really bring ourselves into presence more so that we can both manage what is going on in our life and also be open-minded to new possibilities, to new opportunities for us individually. So today's meditation is about what are you unwilling to feel? And this is, I've been asked this before, and frankly, it pissed me off. Like, what a rude question to receive when you're in the middle of feeling frustrated, but you don't know how to label it. And so it was in relationship that I've heard this question, and I just denied, pushed away, did not want to even go there. And the biggest reason for that is because I was scared. I didn't know what would happen if I unearthed the feelings that were actually happening in me. And I had spent so much time kind of denying them and pushing them away that it was almost inconceivable to imagine addressing some of the feelings that I didn't want to address. And I also thought that, the person that I wanted to be wouldn't feel like that. Or the person who was lovable wouldn't feel like that, right? Wouldn't have those feelings, wouldn't have those thoughts, wouldn't have those experiences. And because I wanted to be lovable, I wanted people to accept me, I wanted people to like me, then it was more important that I fit into that box, that I wore that mask of only positive feelings, only, love and light and peace and all that kind of good stuff. And none of the fear and frustration or anger, disappointment, grief, anxiety, depression, like none of that stuff was, I couldn't show it to anybody. And I think most of us get to a breaking point with that kind of shit. And we decide that, we can't hold it in any longer. We can't deny what we're feeling. And so this meditation is a very gentle introduction to the feelings that we suppress, the feelings that we push away, or the feelings that we deem unworthy, the feelings that make us feel unworthy or unlovable, the feelings that are underneath our vulnerability. It is such a powerful practice to go into these feelings and start the process of reclamation. Start the process of integrating the feelings that we have and being truthful, being in integrity with ourselves, because that's where happiness exists. That is where purpose exists, when we are in integrity with what is, when we share honestly from the space of what is. How can we be present? How can we possibly be present in this moment if we don't acknowledge what presence is for us, if we don't acknowledge how we're feeling and where we're at in this present moment? If we don't acknowledge that, then we can't be in presence. We are in an imaginary state of what we think we should be. So, good morning, Paula. So, you made it. And even if you didn't, you can always watch the replay. So, hi, Tracy. Yeah, don't worry about it. That's why I chat for a little bit up front. So all good. Okay, so let's settle into our morning meditation. Right before this meditation, I brought this gigantic glass of water in. I spilled the whole thing all over the effing counter, and I was like, oh my God, I thought I was going to shut down my computer, but I didn't. Oh, hi, Jolene. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so finding your seat of meditation, arriving in this present moment. And if it feels comfortable for you already, you can close down the eyes. If you need a bit more time to really settle that sense of sight, then just dropping the gaze and softening is good. And then when it's time, when you're ready, when the muscles around your eyes have relaxed, then your eyes will naturally close. And again, there's no need to force or push. We are in this meditation to connect with truth, with how we're feeling, not to push through it or turn away from it, but to acknowledge what is. And often for me, when I'm starting a meditation, my eyes aren't ready to close. I'm not necessarily ready to go fully within. And so take the time and honor this space of internalization, of setting up a space of practice of meditation. The more that you do that, the more that you honor how you're feeling and where you're at, the deeper that you will be able to go in your practice, and the more that you will be able to hold in your awareness. I invite you to begin to draw your awareness to your breath. And again, without forcing it or changing it in any way, simply being aware of it. Simply witnessing the flow of pranic energy into the body, the circulation of this energy as it nourishes and feeds every cell of your body. And then the final release of breath, offering up what is left, what is given, what is complete. And this is a continual cycle, a continual flow. So even though we are releasing and letting go of on our out breath, this is actually a gift to the world around. So imagine yourself sitting next to a tree, and as you exhale, this tree inhales, it receives, and then the tree releases oxygen for you to bring in. And in this way, there's a continual cycle. There's a continual circle of abundance, of giving and receiving. The more that we start to settle now into our breath and into our body, you might notice that you are feeling more relaxed, more settled in your seat, in your posture of meditation. Being so gentle with yourself, allowing any thoughts that are floating around to be there, allowing any feelings or discomforts to be there. Just really settling into the body, settling into the supports that are holding you up now. Chair, the floor, the cushion, whatever it is that you are seated upon or laying on. Just noticing yourself being held, being supported fully. And see if you can let go into this support just a little. Releasing and relaxing, and really feeling that the more that you let go, the more that you release any holding, any tension, the more that you are held. It's as though the supports underneath you are meeting you. So every time that you settle further into comfort, into stillness and relaxation, you are met with more support. And now notice the same quality with the breath. So see if you can let go of any tension or tightness in your breathing. So this might mean, that you're doing more sighs. So, just letting go. And then your inhales being very life-giving, very affirmative, very welcoming. But again, still full of ease. And see if there's any holding or constriction in your throat or in the area of your chest. And seeing if you can bring relaxation here, any softening. So that there is the opportunity to let go further, to be supported in your breath, to be held in this cycle of abundance, of giving and receiving. And as we start to go even deeper in our state of relaxation, you might find that you are opening to your internal world easier now. You have been able to draw your nervous system and your mind into a softer place. We're going to move through a body scan that touches into different areas of holding or tension. And it's going to be a very brief body scan. One of the areas that tends to hold tension the most is the eyes. So draw your awareness to your eyes and to the muscles around your eyes and in your face. Seeing if you can draw a gentle smile, a softening, a relaxation into the eyes. Feeling all of the small muscles begin to relax, begin to settle. Letting go of the need to hold or to focus. Simply letting the supports of the body and the energetic movement of breath and of intention to hold this space. So releasing the tensions in the eyes and feeling this release met with support. And now scanning down the body, locate any other areas of holding, any other areas of tension, perhaps in the throat or the chest or the belly, maybe in the pelvis, the legs, the feet, the arms, or the hands. Finding those areas and drawing this same intention of relaxation, of softening, of trust that you will be met with support as you release and relax. Good. And now drawing your awareness up into your heart space, the center of your chest, and the midpoint of your energetic body. We're going to settle into this space of feeling. The heart holds the record of feeling. It holds our memories of both feelings and emotional experiences. And oftentimes, when we meet a new experience, a feeling will come up that is familiar to us, that reminds us of our past, that reminds us of another experience that we label as either good or bad. And then we identify with it. We move into knowing rather than feeling. And I invite you now to consider what feelings are currently present in your heart. Not labeling them as good or bad, but simply allowing them to be there. And you can start labeling them in your mind's eye just so that you have a reference point. So I'm feeling relaxed, I'm feeling tense, I'm feeling scared, I'm feeling connected. Just running through all of the feelings that are being held there. And taking particular note of any feelings that you are resistant to, that you don't wish to label, that you don't wish to hold. I'm noticing that I don't wish to hold the feelings of frustration or of fear or shame. I don't wish to hold the feelings of anger, sadness, grief. allowing your heart space, this energetic heart center, to be the support for your feelings. As you soften into them, allow yourself to be held here. Being with the feelings that you are unwilling to feel. Perhaps let's look at one of them. One feeling that you would really prefer not to be feeling right now. For me, that is a feeling of fear. And then pose the question to yourself, what does it mean for me to feel this? And so this question is pointing to the story behind your unwillingness. What does it mean for me to feel this? Why is it a feeling that I don't wish to hold? Why am I turning away from it? Why am I keeping myself separate from it? And I can notice for myself that fear I often associate with anxiety. And that was a very difficult experience in my life, and I don't want to go back there. I'm scared to go back there. I also associate fear with weakness. And that is another story I tell myself. So allow your stories to come up for you. Remember, this is very personal. So for the fear that you are unwilling, or for the feeling that you are unwilling to hold, what is the story behind it? What does it mean for me? Now continue to feel this, continue to hold the inquiry. And at the same time, start to soften into the feeling. Start to surrender the physical and energetic body so that it can hold this feeling with gentleness, without resistance, without turning away from or suppression. And breathe with it. So breathing into the heart space, into the feeling. And allowing the breath to bring in the quality of compassion, of grace, of acceptance. And allowing the exhale to soften this space, to soften this energy, to soften any rejection, any turning away from, any stories that are holding you stuck in unwillingness. So continue that deep breathing into your heart space as we alchemize our resistance, as we transmute the feeling that we have been unwilling to hold into one that is accepted, that is held in grace and compassion. So we aren't changing the feeling, but we are changing how we hold it. We are changing the story, the mask that keeps us separate from it. And in cultivating this compassion for ourselves, in holding just one difficult feeling, we cultivate compassion for others who are also facing their own difficulties, their own challenges. We cultivate compassion because we know what it means to turn away from ourselves. We know what it means to deny the truth that exists within us. And we know that in order to be present with, we must be compassionate. We must hold all parts of ourselves with grace. I invite you to draw your hands to your heart, either in prayer or just simply resting them on your heart, and offer yourself such gratitude, such deep appreciation for your willingness to hold this part of you, to unmask, to reveal the stories that exist beneath. And offer gratitude for showing up in practice, for being present with this practice, both for yourself and in community, connecting with others. When we practice, it is never just for us, it is always for the whole, for the greater good. Because as we connect with self, as we heal the wounds, as we return to wholeness, as we return to grace and compassion, this is naturally shared with all of those that we come in contact with. We are the change that we wish to see in the world. By embodying truth, we share truth. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I'm going to close with a blessing rather than our breaths for today. I wish you such deep reverence for the feelings that you hold, for the person that you are, and grace and kindness for the stories that exist still, the stories that are holding you stuck, that are holding you back from being in complete integrity with who you are, with the miracle of you. I thank you so much for being in practice with me. The light within me absolutely salutes and honors the light within you. Namaste. Hmm. Okay. All right. We are complete with the meditation. So when you feel ready, you can come back to the space. And as per usual, I will stick around for a few minutes if you want to share anything or if you'd like to speak to any of the experiences that you had in the meditation. Sometimes there's a lot of really cool visuals that come up for people. And I really appreciate you being willing to explore this meditation. Um, I can speak honestly and say, like, less than 10 years ago, I absolutely would not have done this. I would not have sat with my feelings. I would have not been willing to experience this, uh, especially in relation to the stories that exist behind my unwillingness. It's hard to go into those. It's really hard to hold that truth, to hold the stories that really define us, the belief patterns that kind of keep us moving in our life. You know, they are the foundation of our choices. They are the foundation of our experiences. You're so welcome, Anita. I'm so glad that you're here. So another question, and just a couple of really quick questions that you can consider when you are unmasking or when you're finding yourself wearing a mask with others and being unwilling to connect in with those feelings. A couple of the questions that I have learned to ask myself are, what do I want them to see about me? You know, what am I looking for them to see in me? Why am I posturing? Why am I putting a mask on? What mask do I want them to see? What feelings, what experiences, what qualities of self do I think are acceptable? And then the second question is, what is it that I don't want them to see about me? So, what mask am I wearing that hides truth, that hides feelings or experiences or qualities of self? And those two questions, you know, what do I want others to see about me and what do I not want them to see about me, really points to what is being hidden, what is being held back, what is being kind of suppressed or turned away from in favor of acceptance, in favor of our desire for being with. I'm gonna knock over my water again. Jolene says, I'm witnessing a reverence for sadness and fear as servants in my knowing my life's full truth. Witnessing a reverence. I just love that. A reverence for sadness and fear. I've really developed that also, Jolene, that reverence for being with these difficult emotions or that we label as difficult. I now find them more soulful, maybe not as difficult, but rather soulful, connecting, vulnerable, as servants in my knowing my life's full truth. That's like a line from poetry, like a poem. It's so beautiful, Jolene. Yes. So we each have these stories of how we should be, right? We each have these stories of what we need to be or do or feel in order to be accepted. And the invitation in this meditation was to really be with that, to explore what the feelings are that lie below that, what the truth of our being is, even in spite of or kind of irrelevant of other people's expectations of us, which then become our expectations of self. So we just did a very gentle unmasking. And if you'd like to go further into that and explore all of the different feelings, it's a lifetime of work. This isn't something that's going to happen in a day, but it's just a new perspective, a new way of welcoming in truth and being more present with your experience. So thank you so much for being in practice with me today. It is so special for me to get to share this with you, to get to practice with you. When we were talking about the giving and receiving, this circle of abundance, I feel it. Like I feel your presence being here. Even though I'm sharing a meditation and I'm giving that, I am receiving in the same way. I'm receiving. So thank you. Thank you. Have such a beautiful day. Many blessings and so much love.